Good morning, everyone. I'm Denise Ainsworth, one of the assistant directors with the Alabama High School Athletic Association, and it is my privilege this morning to introduce to you Patrick Knowles with GoFan, who is our ticketing provider for both hard tickets and for digital ticketing as well. It is always great when we can do business with good people, and Patrick Knowles is one of the best people I know. The people at GoFan are awesome people of character, and so we are fortunate to be grouped with them as a partner, and they are no stranger to you. You've had your hard tickets coming from them for years, and they've been a great partner in that regard. They've also provided us with the championship tickets, so it saves us money. And this year with COVID-19 and the reduction of people being in close contact and touching things, it's going to be great for you to pay real close attention to what Patrick has to say this morning, because not only do they have a digital ticketing platform, they also now offer a cashless platform as well, so there is no exchange of cash. So I invite you this morning to pay close attention and welcome a really good person representing a really good company, Patrick Knowles with GoFan.
All right, thank you so much, Denise. I appreciate that nice intro, and likewise on our end. We love working with you all, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a good time doing it. So again, like Denise said, my name is Patrick Knowles with GoFan Digital Tickets and Huddle Tickets. Thanks for taking a few minutes to sit in on this session and learn a little bit more about implementing digital ticketing to your events and at your school. Before I also go any further, I want to stop and thank Coach Savarese again and everyone at the AHSAA for giving me the opportunity to share this with you all. I also want to thank all of our partner schools that we partnered with for several years for trusting us and myself over the past few years to be your ticketing partner. GoFan's headquartered in Alpharetta, Georgia. We also have an office here in Birmingham, Alabama, which is where I'm located. GoFan and Huddle Tickets has been serving high schools for over 20 years. So we take a lot of pride in providing you all with turnkey products to use for your events, while also providing a very high level of customer service, and hope to be second to none in that category for you all. So over the past few months, obviously, we all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has changed everybody's life, or in some aspect for all of us. So here at GoFan, that's no different. And at the same time, due to the requests and demands of the schools and customers, we've implemented a variety of new products and concepts to our platform to adapt and prepare for these new fan expectations. And I'm going to share a lot about that with you as we go here in just a minute. One of the key words that you're going to hear is in the new normal of fans is contactless. You're seeing it everywhere now, just on about every other commercial from brands, major brands across the country. So the general public, all of us are being educated on it. The other part that we're going to hit on is providing your fans with the ability to purchase now a digital ticket and have a contactless experience at your events, which I think anyone that's ever dealt with a high school cash box, from a coach to an athletic director to a bookkeeper and everyone in between, can agree that if we could eliminate those, it'd make a whole lot more sense across the board, right? So having $15,000 or $20,000 sitting on a table or in a ticket booth on a Friday night is probably not the safest and most secure financial practice these days. So, and I'll hit on that a little bit more as we go through the presentation. But as I mentioned, the COVID, it's just changed a lot about our model and your school events as well moving forward. So my hope after this presentation is that everyone watching will, at a bare minimum, implement setting up a GoFan account to provide your fans the ability to purchase a contactless digital ticket if that's the preference of the fan. So we think that's a recommendation that we're putting out that's pretty much needed nowadays to give the fans that option. In addition to doing that, I'm going to go through some extra details on how you can utilize some of the additional GoFan tools to implement cashless or cashless preferred events for your environment and at your school. So at the end of the presentation, I'm going to provide a few ways where you can submit some information to get set up or request some additional information. So I'm going to try to provide everything I can here to allow you to get off and say, yeah, hey, we're ready to get set up to offer GoFan. And at that point, you'll be able to do it through that form without having to do any more meetings or Zoom type meetings with us to get started. Now, if you need to, obviously we're here so that you can do that, but hopefully I can provide you with enough info that if you're not using GoFan now, to go ahead and take that step to get set up. So without wasting any more time with me, I'm going to jump right into the slides and we will go from there. All right, so what we're going to cover now, or what we're going to cover today is a little bit about GoFan and the AHSAA, talk about a little bit of that history. We're also going to go over kind of an industry overview of what's going on out in the space. We're going to talk about the GoFan standard setup. We're going to talk a little bit more about the cashless setup, and then we're going to go into some additional tools and products. So, and Tim, if we're over to the slides already, that would be great. I can't see, so hopefully we can flip over to the slides. So let me give you a brief overview on kind of where we're at in Alabama. Alabama is GoFan's the exclusive digital ticketing provider for the AHSAA for postseason and championship events. So what that means is in the postseason, if a digital ticket is offered, it is offered on the GoFan platform. The championship events, all AHSAA championship events offer GoFan digital ticketing as well. So as I mentioned a little earlier, we love working with Coach Savarese and the AHSAA staff, and we've been working with them since 2015, and we've got a great partnership and had one the whole time with them. So also, one thing I like to kind of throw in, contrary to what you might think, the AHSAA and its member schools, all that we work with, are the national leader in digital ticketing adoption and usage. So I know it surprises a lot of people, but it's the truth. Under Coach Sav's great leadership and direction, Alabama was actually the pioneer state in digital ticketing in high schools, not only for championship events, but also for regular season events among the schools. So even though we work with thousands of schools across the country, I personally take a lot of pride on the GoFan side here to keep Alabama in the lead in this category. So as of now, over 150 schools in Alabama use GoFan digital ticketing for regular season events. This upcoming season, we currently expect about 50 schools in Alabama to adopt a cashless preferred policy for their events. And the hope is that, all schools, as I mentioned, after this, that if you're watching it, that all schools will adopt a digital ticketing or a contactless option for everyone. So the next thing that we're kind of going to hit on before I get into the details is just kind of the Tech Society. The Tech Society, as you know it, I mean, essentially we're being trained by the world to be able to adopt to the Tech Society. So I like to hit this one early and go ahead and get it out there, because we hear it all the time, all across not just Alabama, but everywhere. We hear people say, well, I'm not sure our folks are ready for this yet. And I'm just here to tell you that I get the statement and I hear it, but it could not be further from the truth. As you see on this screen here, all of you are familiar with these companies, and some of you might have already used one of them today, or will use one by the end of the day. So, the world's teaching us and everybody, all of your fans, how to use these digital products and how to take things, into the digital space. So as they're educating us all, the answer to, are your fans ready for it? Absolutely. We see it all the time when new schools implement, digital ticketing. We hear people would think you might hear, oh, well, we don't want to do it this way or yada, yada. We actually hear the reverse. It's like, wow, it's about time we did this. This is so much better than the traditional alternatives. So The other one thing kind of that I like to throw around with folks is that, um, while I'm usually meeting in person with people, or with athletic directors or administrators, whoever it may be, I like to always ask, what do you use cash to purchase, in your daily habits today? And the most common answer that I get by far is that, these days, I don't really even ever have any cash on me, honestly. So I use a card or some kind of mobile pay for pretty much every purchase that I make. So that's where we're at. I think that, again, the world is constantly training us every day on, are we ready yet? And the answer is yes. So to dip into to the new normal before I jump right into how everything works. So, the new normal, what does this mean? We're hearing it everywhere. So here's a few bullets kind of on how it can relate to GoFan and transactions. We're hearing, you're hearing things like cashless, contactless, touchless, social distancing, limiting person-to-person contact, and all of that stuff. I'm sure everybody's seen that if you're going to an Alabama or an Auburn game this year, you'll be using a digital ticket. There's no more paper tickets. All of this is being done for A, to prevent some fraudulent tickets, and B, for the safety and sanitation of the workers and obviously the fans. So it's happened with college and professional organizations daily across the country. The largest retailer in the world, Walmart, as you see here, right now is currently testing cashierless stores, whole stores, where you will check out using either your card or your mobile phone. There won't be any cashiers anymore. If it works, they're testing it in Arkansas. If it works, it'll be rolled out, obviously, across the country. And then you've got, all kind of local businesses and national brand chains like Chick-fil-A and just numerous others that are strongly putting in policies about how people can pay at their facilities or at their businesses. So they're doing this obviously in attempts to eliminate contact, and by doing that, clear up a lot of financial practices as well. So I just like to also hit on this slide pretty hard because it just illustrates once again that the world is teaching people how to operate digitally by default. And it's something that allows us just to be able to step into this naturally and take advantage of that adoption. So, I'm going to go into now two different pieces of the. I'm going to go into two different pieces of how GoFan works. So GoFan's free for your school to get set up on and use. So there's no cost to just our standard GoFan plan. I'm going to go into another kind of next level as we talk about this cashless piece of it later that may involve a cost here or there depending on your setup. But for you to be able to offer a contactless ticketing digital ticket option for your fans at your school, it is free. So the three components that I'm going to run through here on how this works are really simple. The first component that I'm going to run through is the standard GoFan setup. This is free for every school to get set up on and use, again, to provide that contactless ticketing option. So what does that look like? You give us a little contact information on a form that I can provide you all at the end of this presentation, and we set everything up for you. So we set up the school's custom GoFan page, and on that custom GoFan page, obviously, we'll put your schedules up online, upload all of that for you, and after we're done with that, we'll send it back to you and say, how does this look? And you're good to go from there. So it's obviously just a link, so there's no technical implementation that you would need on your end. Each school has their own GoFan link custom to your school. You put it up on your school website, your athletic website, your social media, wherever you want to, and everything that you've got listed for sale online can be found on that page. So that's kind of the first part. What does or piece number one is, what does it look like to get set up? Fill out a quick form. It takes 2 minutes. We'll design your page, build your account, send you a welcome email, and you're good to go. So we have an account management team in Alpharetta that is on hand all the time to help you, and you can communicate with them via email and phone to get events set up, like for obviously this fall, and then as you go through the year, if you have a random event requests like a prom or a dance that I'll get into later, you just reach out to them or myself, and we'll get you taken care of. So GoFan can obviously be displayed on a computer, a tablet, or any mobile phone, and it can be utilized via our apps as well. The second piece that we are going to talk about now is the second piece of the first part is the purchasing process. So how does a purchase work? Fans access to purchase on a computer, tablet, or mobile device. Again, the purchasing experience is just what you would expect from a user-friendly site. Fan just selects the event they want to purchase tickets for, and then they select their quantity of tickets and check out. As you can see here on the bottom right screen where the person has loaded the tickets into their cart, if any ticketing fees apply to the transaction, the fans will clearly see those during checkout and what those exact amounts will be once they get to the checkout screen. So I'll touch on that piece in just a minute as well. So that's step one. How do you get set up? How do you load your events? How do people purchase? Step two, again, in just the standard GoFan, is ticket redemption. So people always ask, all right, how do we redeem the tickets at the venue? After a ticket is purchased, we send the tickets to the fans' email, and it can be immediately accessed, obviously, through their GoFan account on a mobile device or within the app. So all tickets are validated on the fan's phone. There's no need for scanners or printable tickets or any of that. It's all digital tickets. So no Wi-Fi is needed at your facility to be able to use GoFan. Again, people always say, well, we don't have Wi-Fi at the stadium. You do not need Wi-Fi to be able to utilize GoFan at your stadium or at your venue. The training on this ticket redemption it's literally a 60-second training. So if you have a new employee or a new anyone that's coming up to be working your gates, a volunteer, you can literally show them how to do this in 60 seconds. So very scalable across your venues and events to be able to teach people how to validate tickets. So the convenience and processing fees associated with purchasing the ticket, again, is passed along to the fan, just like every ticket experience that you would see. I'm going to hit on those again as we go through, but let's look at what a ticket redemption would look like real quick. So a fan's going to walk up and they're going to hold their phone up and say, here's my tickets. As you see here, this one has some adult and student ticket options up. Most of the time, it's just a general admission ticket. So the fan's going to walk up and say, I've got my tickets on my phone. The person working at the gate's going to recognize they've got 5 tickets, and they're going to say, all right, are you going to use all 5 tickets? And in this case, the fans are walking up and they're going to say, nope, I'm just using 2 of them. And at that point, they say, all right, can you select your 2 tickets? This year, we're recommending if the gate worker wants to tap to validate the phone that they use a stylus, obviously, so there's no contact there. Either way is fine. It's very, very viewable and visible on both sides. This is what I'm doing. They select the 2 tickets that they want to validate, and you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, there's then a validate 2 tickets button. So they would then hit that validate 2 tickets button, and it's going to take you to a prevention screen that makes sure, hey, make sure you're at the gate. Are you sure you want to do this? You hit that validate button, and you're going to get a green check mark. So it's literally as simple as that. I will back up to kind of do it a little quicker. A fan walks up, hey, I got some tickets for tonight. All right, how many of them are you going to use? 2 of them. All right, let's select the 2 tickets, hit the validate at the bottom of the screen. It's going to, again, take you to that prevention validation screen. You hit the green validate button, you get a green check mark, and those fans can then enter the event. The tickets that have then been used are going to move to the redeem section of their account. So they cannot be used again. As you see here, it's got a timestamp for when they were redeemed. And if you were to actually click on this, nothing's going to happen. So there's no way that they can actually screenshot this, send this to friends, or do anything with it. Once it's used, that ticket is killed. So we've got 3 tickets left in the account from the example that I just gave you. So in this example, let's just assume that mom or dad bought the tickets for the family. Mom or dad showed up early to go in and watch their kid warm up or maybe perform on the band, and the other 3 kids may be coming later. So with these 3 tickets, mom or dad, whoever's purchased them and's got them, they can actually email or text message their kids the tickets. They can do it one by one, or they can do it all at the same time to one person, whichever works for them. Obviously, doesn't make any difference to us. So that person's then going to get a link with whatever tickets they've shared. All that they have to do is click on it, and it pulls up the ticket. So the downloading of an app is not required in order to validate tickets. As a matter of fact, most people access their tickets from their confirmation email. They'll just hit the View Tickets button, and it actually pulls up whatever tickets are available. So on this sharing tickets functionality here, an easy example is, hey, what if somebody shares the tickets with 10 people? So the example that I like to give there, that if mom texts her son, he's out in the parking lot hanging out with some buddies before the game, and he gets his text message that said, oh, great, my dad transferred my ticket to me. Well, if he's got 10 friends sitting there, they might all say, yeah, transfer it to me so I can use it, He can do that if he wants to. It's no problem for him to transfer and share that with them. The first one that gets in the gate is the one that's going to get to use the ticket, though. So again, that applies to share tickets. Once it's used, the ticket is killed and no longer available for use. It will literally disappear from the phone. So if they're in line back to back to back, first person that validates those is the one that is going to get to enter. So another thing with GoFan that I'll kind of hit on in a minute as well, but other things that can be used on GoFan are things other than sports. So just to hit on this in case there are some administrators, principals, or some other bookkeepers involved in presentation here, it can be used for performing arts, proms, dances, and any kind of event essentially that you use internally at the school. We had a unique situation, obviously, earlier this year, as did everybody. But proms were a popular item if they were done on GoFan. Once all the cancellations start occurring, schools that were using GoFan were able to just pick up the phone and contact us and say, hey, we're having to cancel prom. Can you please refund everybody? And we did that with one push of a button and took that off the bookkeeper's hands. Schools that collected it the traditional way with cash and check, in some cases we're hearing are still issuing these refunds. So there's obviously a lot of value in transacting digitally for certain events, especially ones that obviously we don't have any clue about that could happen now. So, when I was in school, I always like to point out that, like I'm sure a lot of you on this presentation or watching this presentation did, we'd go to the lunchroom between a certain time period on a day to purchase, our prom tickets. And over a 2-week span that we could purchase. So during those 2 weeks, some teacher or employee had to take time out of their day, their classroom, to collect money, and it had to be reconciled each day, just like it does now if that's still how you do it. But the point is that you don't have to do this anymore. It can all be done digitally and allow everybody to be more productive and also provide a more secure way of transacting. One other thing about regarding in-school events or payments, I think at least for a while, gone are the days or guests or parents being able to even come into the school unless it's obviously an emergency. So providing them a way to transact digitally is going to be a necessity as we move forward. So, aside from Friday Night Football, GoFan can be used for a variety of other transactional events for you all to use, such as the proms, dances, plays, competitions, camp registrations, even though we're not having them this summer. Basic T-shirt sales, essentially pretty much anything that you might need to collect a payment for, we can probably accommodate that for you and help you transact that. So moving right along to the last piece of just the standard GoFan setup is the finance piece. So your school will obviously have an admin login where you can log in to view real-time sales, past sales, and everything else that you would expect at any time. In addition to that, we will send you an automated reconciliation report the morning after each event. So you got a game at night, football game Friday night. Obviously, the bookkeeper doesn't come in on Saturday, but when she comes in on Monday morning, that report's going to be sitting there waiting on her. As I mentioned earlier, schools receive 100% of the ticket revenue. So we pass the convenience fee and any processing fees along to the fan. That fee on the standard general GoFan plan is $1 plus 5% per ticket. So there's a $1 ticket fee and a 5% processing fee. So to show you what that would look like on a $7 ticket, that would carry a $1.35 fee that's passed along to the fan, and we would remit the full $7 to you. So The reconciliation report gives you a total breakdown of all this, also by certain ticket types. So if you do have a student and adult ticket price, we can, obviously that's broken down for you on the report. So we pay out every week. So on every Wednesday of each week, we pay out for the prior week's events. So Friday night football game, your payout would go out the following Wednesday. Obviously, you would know immediately what your payout is going to be, but realistically, you could shut down the games, the gates at the end of the third quarter like most of you do, and you could immediately look online to see what your sales are if you wanted to. Most people resort to that report that comes in the next morning. But methods that we pay out via ACH direct deposit or check. ACH direct deposit is the preferred method. It's more secure. It's a faster payment to you. It's a more consistent of knowing exactly when you're going to get that payment. And it's just safer. I think, obviously, as we've seen during a lot of this COVID stuff as well, you've seen with the tax stuff when all that was going on, the refund, the credits, whatever they were called, the COVID payments that they made. If you got ACH, you got your money quicker. It was safer. It was faster. The Department of the Treasury said, this is the safest way for you to get your money, and we believe that's no different. But if you have to receive a check, that's no problem as well. So I like to pause here during any presentation I'm doing and, pretty much lay it out that if you've understood everything up to now, then you're ready to start implementing GoFan at your school. So you're ready to start implementing the contactless digital ticketing option for your fan. That's literally all the details that you need. Obviously, if you still got questions, we can help you with that. But I just like to pause that and say, hey, if you've understood this, then we're ready. So the setup process, again, involves filling out a quick form with some contact information. We get your account set up. We'll load the events up for the fall, obviously the football schedule once we get that, and we're good to go. So we'll hit on at the end of the presentation, give you a way to sign up for the standard plan if you're ready. So for the second half of the conversation, I'm going to dip into the cashless or cashless preferred setup that kind of is the craze right now. And it'll also show you a couple of additional tools that you can utilize, again, to piece together whatever your complete setup might be to try to get you in this direction. Some schools are saying, we're all in. This is the direction we're doing. Never been a better time to implement something like this, unfortunately, because it's being done everywhere. But we want to go all in. Some schools are saying, hey, let us use this and this piece of your solution to help get us there. We want to formulate a plan. So just to throw the new normal slides back up that I showed you, just wanted to kind of show you where this is coming into play at the cashless event. So prior to COVID, many schools in Alabama were actually already in the process of transitioning to a cashless preferred style for their events using the GoFan platform. So we all understand, again, all the hassles associated with collecting cash at your events, such as cash boxes, trips to the bank, counting cash, and the tedious, inaccurate reconciliation in most cases. So for reasons such as sales transparency, auditing accuracy, eliminating cash mishandling, and reducing time and cost, and more, schools have been making the cashless transition in an attempt to clean this very antiquated process up. So during the fall of 2019, actually, we had a group of schools in Class 7A Region 3 in the Birmingham area that actually piloted a cashless preferred policy, and they were able to eliminate over $250,000 in cash gate transactions for football games alone. So, it's a pretty significant number there. I think everybody looking at that kind of really pops out and goes, wow, this makes sense. There's a lot of cash floating out there that needs to get cleaned up. So starting in 2020, these schools are actually going to be even moving to a stronger cashless preferred policy. So what we've done kind of off of our pilot last year and everything that we've learned in this industry is developed what we call the GoFan formula. And this doesn't have to be executed to a T to be able to pull off cashless events at your school, but some formation of it will allow you to, if all of it's not for you. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this to back up, but we're estimating currently right now that about 50 schools as of right now in the state are going to adopt a cashless preferred ticketing policy. So we've heard from schools all across the country that have expressed that this is a desirable destination in the past. And now with COVID factored in, we're seeing more schools be proactive and aggressive in this direction for reasons like sanitation, safety and security, potential capacity restriction management, which can all be done online, and other obvious safeguarding procedures. So again, based off of last year's pilot program that we did with schools across the country, we've come up with the GoFan formula for the cashless event. So the formula consists of a few recommended components. So it's you start on the left, as you see here. There's a season ticket component or a pass component to it that I'll get into. I know a lot of you do passes. Then there's the online ticket component, which we just talked about. And then there's at-event payments that occur. So we'll have to go through those as well. So from here on, just for the rest of the presentation, to kind of paint the picture as clear as I can, assume that we're talking about not accepting any cash at your events. And then we can back off of that a little as I get kind of towards the end of this piece. But the mobile pass is the first piece, or some form of season ticket. A lot of you do all sports passes for the kids, for the students, that allows them to get into every event, every home event, maybe non-tournament or non-obviously postseason event. We can now take those plastic cards and take them digital. So a student can go in, register, purchase their card just like they always do. You don't have to deal with the passbacks. You don't have to deal with the distribution of them. It's all done digitally. You can sell them all year long, and you can actually track some of the attendance of that as well. So this can be done for an all sports pass, for a student, for an adult, for the whole year, or it can even be drilled down and done for something just like a volleyball season ticket, for that matter. Obviously for a lot of the events outside of football, the majority of the fans that make up those events are the parents and the siblings. So anytime you can go to them, especially on an individual season level, and offer your fans that are going to be coming to the event with the way to go ahead and purchase a ticket up front, then you're knocking out 50% of your transactional gate by doing that up front. So very, very popular. We've actually implemented this at some of the schools in Birmingham last year, and it worked very well. But anyway, and again, the pricing and everything on this is up to you. For example, if it's going to cost $40 for them to come to every home game for the parents, maybe give them a game free if they want to purchase in advance. And you all will also get the money for all these passes before the season so that you can use that for the season. So the whole purpose of the season pass or the season ticket is to put something into place to go ahead and knock out as much of the transactional gate that you can. Another way to do this, if you're moving to a card and mobile pay only, it allows you to go ahead and go out and say, hey, everybody, here's what we're doing this year. Hey, fans, hey, parents, if you want to come to the game, we're providing you with a way to purchase up front. This is the method that we're moving to now. You can get your pass before the season. It's the best way to get into our events if you're going to come to them. So it gives you the ability to go ahead and throw that out there. The way the mobile pass works is just like the tickets. Somebody will hold their phone up. The pass will be displayed on it. You click the pass. It's going to give you that validation screen that we saw with the regular digital tickets. And you click to validate it, and it is going to validate or redeem that pass. As you'll notice on the far right where you see John Smith's pass, on the bottom, once you validate that pass, it's going to disable that pass for a predetermined set of time, which is up to you. It can be 30 minutes, an hour, 4 hours, whatever you would like. But essentially, once that pass is validated, it is killed for that time window. So you can't give it. You can give somebody your password and log into your GoFan account if you want to, but they're not going to be able to use it because it's already been used. So it's real foolproof there, and it also allows you to be able, to offer the pass for certain time windows dealing with cancellations and stuff. So we don't always have to worry about this game was moved from Tuesday to Thursday. If they've got this season pass or all sports pass, it doesn't matter. They can validate it whenever the event is live for whatever event that pass is eligible for, and then it just resets itself. So super popular product. Again, this one can be utilized, it's part of the standard package as well of GoFan. I just like to include it in the cashless mix because it really shows you how you can eliminate a good bit of your transactional gate for your events. But this one's also offered as a part of the standard package. So the Next piece of the GoFan cashless formula is the online ticket. So with the season pass or the season ticket, we're taking care of your home fans or giving them a great opportunity to go ahead and get their tickets or season tickets. The next component is just the online tickets, which we touched on a lot earlier. I won't go through all of that, but you've got an online ticket, which is, hey, here's the best way for now for visitors for you to buy your ticket to get into our events. Just go ahead and buy you an online ticket. They show up with it on their phone, and they're walking right in the gate. So we send you some messaging throughout the week when you do have that Friday night home game that says, hey, here's your GoFan link. Share this with the away team so they'll know how to purchase their tickets, and so they'll know, your new policy and won't be surprised when they get there. So what we're trying to set up here now we've got kind of the at venue operation. How does that work? So here's your traditional gate. You've got, a lot of person-to-person contact, unreasonable social distancing, high physical exchanges, handing over money, getting change back, getting a ticket, taking it to the ticket taker, tearing it, getting that ticket back. A lot of contact going on there. And then you've obviously got the stack of cash to reconcile. And when you go into the more modern gate setup, what we're talking about here, you've got your people on the right that are walking right in the game. They've either got their pass that they've already purchased, or they've got their pre-purchased digital ticket that they're walking in with. They've got manageable social distancing with the booth set up and some of these self-checkout kiosks that I'll share in just a second. You got the ability to lessen your staff demands as well in doing this. You don't have to have 10 different cash boxes going at the same time. And then obviously you've got the automated financial transparency and security involved with being card and mobile pay only. So the third piece kind of the cashless formula is the at venue purchase. So somebody shows up, they didn't get the memo that it's a cashless preferred setup. So they're gonna come there. What do I do? Well, we've got a new self-checkout. If you've got your phone and you're watching this, you can actually open the camera on your phone and just hover it over that QR code. So you can do this live. You don't have to have an app or anything like that. Open the camera on your QR code. Open the camera on your phone and hover it over that QR code. And what it will do is take you right to an event or right to a school's page in this matter. This is obviously just a demo one that's set up, where you can then buy your ticket right there on your phone. So you can check out as a guest. You can use Apple Pay for people that are using Apple Pay now, or you can check out with a credit card. So after you scan it, it's going to take you to an event or a school's page. You select how you want to purchase, and 10 to 15 seconds if you're using one of the mobile pays, or maybe 30 to 45 seconds if you are entering your credit card. And it's going to then obviously process real quick, and then you click view my ticket, and it's going to pull up that digital ticket. So the gate worker that's validating these tickets, he might not know if you purchased your ticket at home on your couch 2 hours ago or somewhere in the parking lot by using one of these self-checkout kiosks. But these QR payments, they are on the rise everywhere. We're on a lot of calls and have been through the pandemic here with like Apple Pays and Google Pays and even some of the large credit card companies. And their estimate that this mobile pay that you're seeing all over the place now, contactless payment, has been estimated. The speed of it being implemented across the country has been sped up by about 5 years and compressed into about 3 or 4 months now. So people are adopting this all over the place. They don't want to touch anything when they pay. They don't want to give everybody their card. They want to have to touch a screen. So they're implementing these contactless and mobile payments. So again, the self-checkouts, I know obviously not many people have probably been to an airport in the last couple of months, but you're starting to see it there all over the place now, and even more in restaurants now, where you walk up, you've got a little QR in front of you, you scan it, and you select what you want to eat, and you pay right there, and you don't even see anybody. Same type model, that goes back to the Walmart example. So people are very familiar with this. It's super easy. And then the third piece of the on-site payments is going to be our GoFan box office card terminal. So what this consists of is a tablet that comes with cell phone connectivity and a card reader. So again, the tablet comes with cell phone connectivity, so you don't have to worry about getting out to your venue and relying on the Wi-Fi to reach from the press box or not having a good connection, whatever it may be. Again, it comes with a cell phone connectivity provider of your choice. It'll work with Wi-Fi. but that's the way we set it up for you. And it also has a mobile device management program on there, which allows us to be able to get in there and, if you have any issues at a certain time, we can get in there and see what's going on. And we can also, be able to control the updates that occur, so that, something doesn't happen. You don't use it for something else and mess up some of the settings. So super popular option that we rolled out last year as part of the pilot program that we did last year. And the implementation of this is super simple. So you take it out, you turn it on, you would log in with your school's login, select the event that you want to take payments for, and you come to a screen that looks similar to this one here. Somebody walks up, I would like 2 tickets. You just hit ++ and ask them to insert their card, tap their card, use their mobile pay, however they want to do it. Takes about 3 to 4 seconds, processes through, gives you a green check mark, and then it comes right back to this screen. So super simple to implement. And then what we do here with this cashless approach is that it gives you the ability to have a setup that's, something in the ballpark of like this. You've got, going all the way back to the beginning, fans that have bought a season pass or a season ticket, they're walking right in. Fans that have purchased, whether it be away fans or community fans that have purchased online, they're walking up and they're going right in. So that messaging to the away fans now, for any of you that's used GoFan for a while, we always say, hey, tickets are available online if you want to purchase them. Please share this with your fans. That's the message that you send. That gets shared some of the time. Sometimes, there's a lot more going on Friday than sharing a ticket link. And if it is shared, it might be shared via Twitter, and all of your community doesn't see it. But if we have a new policy that's going and you get a message from another school or another AD that says, hey, this is how you pay to enter our facility, that message is going to get passed to everybody. So you've got your online tickets walking up, and then you've got your people that walk up that maybe didn't get the memo. You can have some student ambassadors or clubs out there that are helping with this self-checkout. It's as simple as, hey, yeah, just open the camera on your phone, scan it, click that link that comes down, and you can step aside and complete your purchase. So very, very simple there. And then as you'll see here, you've got one window that's open. Somebody could walk up, and that might be where the GoFan box office is. You might have somebody that says, hey, I just have a flip phone, for example. Well, they can walk up, pull their debit or credit card out. It accepts all 4 major forms of payment, and they can pay there. So last year in this cashless preferred model, at this particular setup, the self-checkout signs were not there, but the 2 windows where the signs were, those were where the GoFan box office terminals were, and that one window that's open was the only cash line. So there's a couple of different setups depending on how aggressive that you want to get. But I think that in high school, I know that we have an impossible task, which is pleasing 100% of everyone. We're never going to do that. But what we're trying to do here is let's flip the scenario and kind of flip the script. Let's accommodate for the majority, like the high majority of your fans, of how they transact and go about purchasing things in their daily life, and let's just work with the ones that might not be up their alley right now. So I like to always throw out that if you've got 1,000 people in your stadium that can actually let's call it 15 or 16-year-olds and above that can actually drive, and probably a little bit younger, not talking about toddlers and kids, but if you've got 1,000 people in your stadium, you can just sit there and think, like, realistically, how many of those do not have either a credit card or a debit card or a mobile phone that they're able to or capable of purchasing something on? I mean, I would say the number for all of us across the state is less than 50 out of that 1,000 people. So that's where we are in reality. And kind of, again, there's multiple setups for everybody. Everybody's setup might not be the same in this cashless, or what we call cashless preferred approach. But the majority of your fans are doing this they're doing it right now today. So we've got a formula in place to allow you to do that for the 2 main reasons: the financial transparency and security reasons, which we can all agree on are needed. And then now for these new COVID reasons that, for the safety, the sanitation, the capacity, and the social distancing aspect of it. I like to say, hey, I hope and wish, I don't know if it's going to be, but if this virus is gone August 1st, this is good practice to put into play anyway, now that we've seen what's happened. Flu season is going to be here in October as well. So we believe that these are great practices to go ahead and put in play. So that's the cashless preferred setup, obviously your dashboard and your reconciliation is going to look a lot different if you go about it this way. Everything's just there at the click of a button with a drill down where you can access your reports and your sales at any time. There's a communication strategy that's involved here that we help you with. The sooner that we can get your policy into play, we can get you some material to start getting the word out. The new ticket policy, whatever that might be, we can formulate that and formulate your plan and go ahead and start getting that out to your fans. Here you'll see a few that have already started doing this. Oak Mountain here on the left, Trustful on the right, they're going ahead and getting their new policies out to their fans so that they will be able to see them. The Cashless Preferred package does come with some cost. Obviously, there's some equipment involved. It comes with 2 of the box office units. So you get 2 tablets that come with the cell phone connectivity, a card reader for both of those. So 2 full box office units where you're capable of accepting cards. It comes with 12 of those self-checkout signs, those corrugated plastic signs. The stands are not included. They'll go up on a fence. They'll go on an A-frame sign if you want to affix them to those. If you do want the big, nice metal stands that we have, you'll see at the bottom, those are an additional cost. And it also rounds the transaction fee to a flat dollar for you. So if you're going with the Cashless Preferred model, this setup, we round the transaction fee to a ticketing fee to a flat dollar, eliminate the 5%. So that you can use that however you need to in your pricing model. So, and that's something we can talk about if for those of you that want to take that move. But just makes it a lot easier. Hey, the $6 ticket just became $7, or the $7 ticket became $8. Several different variations of how you can use that, but we round it off just for clear transparency. So again, we've got the complete setup for virtually anything that you need to do for your events. Take it at whatever extreme you want to. Again, we hope that you at least provide your fans with a contactless ticketing option. And at the other end of the spectrum, if you're ready to make that move and eliminate the cash to provide all of the benefits we've talked about, we're here for you to be able to do that. I think we can all agree that one of the main things I get, regardless of when I meet with somebody, if they're going in the full direction or not, is I know it's coming at some point. So now is just a great time with all restrictions that are going on to begin implementing this type of policy. We'll work with you to do that. Obviously, if you want to go down the cashless or cashless preferred route, we can set up a side conversation with you to kind of formulate your process. So questions, I'm going to go through some quick, like 3 minutes worth of most commonly asked questions, again, to allow you to go ahead and get set up if you just want to offer the contactless free option. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to pull up a screen where you can actually go to a website right now, put your school's information in, and you'll see at the bottom, it'll say, hey, I want to get started with the GoFan digital online ticketing option, the free one for schools, or hey, we want to talk about this, seriously talk about this cashless preferred model, and you can select that, and we can set up a time to chat after this or any time in the next week or so. So one of those 2 options, if everybody that's watching, obviously, if you are interested, could go ahead. You can go to the link now. You'll have to type that link in there. I don't think that you can click on it. That get started now. The link under there, bit.ly/GoFan AHSAA, or you can just open your camera again and scan that QR code, and it's going to take you right to that form, and you can do it on your phone. So I'll leave this up during the quick questions here. Again, if you're ready to get going now, please go to this link or scan this code and select which option you're ready to get going for, so that we can proceed in getting everything set up appropriately, and hoping that we're going to be starting the season here in the next month. We want to have enough time to get everybody set up that wants to get set up. So some of the commonly asked questions are, what about refunds? So we have a refund policy that's no refunds when people purchase, and we go by your refund policy. So just like now, a lot of you set pre-sale tickets in the school. If I buy my ticket on Thursday today and I don't show up tomorrow, I can't come Monday and get my money back. It's no different on GoFan. So tickets that are pre-sold in advance, you get paid for those regardless of if the fan comes to the game. So there's great advantage for pre-sales there. Gone are the days where you send a roll of tickets across town for your rivalry game and have cash floating all over the county or the city. Just do it online. So we go by your refund policy. Cancellations. If there's an event that's canceled, there's two things that could happen. So a game cancels on Friday night, you're going to play it again Saturday or another day. We can reinstate those tickets and roll them over to the next day for the fan. A lot of schools go by the policy, hey, if we have a cancellation, if that game is played, there's no refunds. Now, if you have a cancellation, obviously like we could easily have now, or a cancellation that is not going to be made up, we can simply refund those people with a push of a button. So huge benefit there with what we've got going on now to move to all digital, that every purchase is made digitally. Well, something happens, whatever it may be. We've obviously seen a lot can happen now. We can refund those per you telling us to with the click of a button. The fees part of it, again, the fee is passed along to the fan. In certain scenarios for certain things, similar to kind of what y'all saw earlier with the Dragonfly model, we can build a fee into the price and deduct it from the payout that we're going to give you. A lot of schools like to do that on certain things like the mobile passes or booster packages and stuff like that. Tickets that are not redeemed, again, that's what I just hit on. The tickets not redeemed, you still get paid for it. It doesn't matter if the ticket is not redeemed, it's included in a sale when a ticket's purchased. And then capacity limits, that's obviously a hot topic right now of are we capable of providing capacity limits? The answer to that is yes. We can set up your venue to allow whatever your capacity limit is going to be. And in that cases, I think a lot of us are going to be going digital by default if there is any kind of capacity restrictions. Hopefully there won't be. But if they are, the system's ready for you. And then finally, the last question we get is, hey, what if somebody's phone died right before they got there? Well, we know there's going to be some what ifs, just like there's some what ifs right now. If you don't use GoFan right now at all at your games, you've got some what ifs on Friday night. So what if somebody shows up and goes, oh, my ticket's already torn? What do you do there? We just get you to implement the same practices here. You might have one, two, or a handful of what ifs, especially right from the get-go, and you just make your judgment calls just like you currently do with any other of the what ifs. But, for the most part, it's smooth. Fans love it. Administrators love it once they get going with it. And, as I mentioned, we're here to support you all, answer all your questions, and do whatever we can do to help you all be successful in implementing whatever policy it might be. So that is it for me. I am, again, my information's here. Feel free to email me or fill out the form to get started. And I appreciate everybody's time. Again, love the AHSAA folks. I'm so sorry I wouldn't be able to come down there. I was looking forward to being able to see you all. But and everybody watching, thank you for your time as well. And we look forward to hearing from you soon.